Today on the SEC Network, a meeting of top 25 squads as Ole Miss goes to Tennessee. Ronaldo Woolridge, Bobby Mays, the SEC Player of the Week, and the Volunteers riding a 5-game winning streak, and more good news today. More on that coming up. Others will see Arkansas taking on Alabama. The Tide, one of the pleasant surprises in the conference today. Charles, still very early in the conference schedule, but are there any teams in your mind that already face a must-win game this week?
It's got to be the mighty Gators of Florida. All right, they're
SEC. Derek Dooley, son of longtime Georgia head coach Vince Dooley, has been hired as the head coach at Tennessee. He comes from Louisiana Tech, where he was both the head coach and the athletic director. Strong ties to the conference, not just his dad. He was also on Nick Saban's staff for several years at LSU before joining Saban in the NFL with the Miami Dolphins. 17-20 in 3 seasons as the head coach at Louisiana Tech. Now, Charles Davis played a bit of football of his own at Tennessee, as a matter of fact. And Charles, it's no secret, Tennessee courted a lot of guys before finally hiring Dooley. What's the reaction among the Tennessee faithful?
I'd say at this point, Whit, it is cautious because they've been through so much in the last 14 months. The firing of Philip Fulmer, a longtime icon at the university, bringing in Lane Kiffin and his brash regime, and then he's out after 1 season, and now you're hiring a guy after many people heard so many different names. But I think that Derek Dooley, they're cautious, but he will be supported. This is a guy, Whit, that I think if he had just hired him off of Nick Saban's staff, people might be dancing in the streets. They're looking at a 17-20 record. Not an easy place to win is Louisiana Tech.
And just in case you've not read a paper or watched television in the last 2 weeks, Dooley's predecessor is heading to L.A., Lane Kiffin, accepting an offer to become the head coach at Southern Cal after 1 season at Tennessee and a 7-6 record. Made a lot of headlines this year with his brash nature. Again, as a Tennessee guy, what did you think about how Kiffin handled this departure?
Well, I'm never crazy about a coach leaving 3 weeks before signing date, but I understand it. I've got my big boy pants on. It's a business. This is supposed to be his dream job, but 3 weeks before signing date, I always hesitate about any coach who takes a job during that time frame. But guess what? Tennessee turned around and hired a guy who's going to leave his squad 3 weeks before signing date or a little bit less. So it's the nature of the business. I wish him luck out there, and now I wish Derek Dooley a lot of luck at the University of Tennessee.
Now, speaking of Dooley, he will be introduced to the crowd at Thompson Bowling Arena during the first half of the Ole Miss-Tennessee.
Thompson Bowling Arena here in Knoxville. Today a matchup of 2 ranked teams, the 23rd ranked Ole Miss Rebels and the resilient 10th ranked Volunteers of Tennessee. Glad you could join us on a Saturday afternoon here on Rocky Top. With my partner, former Alabama head coach Mark Gottfried, I'm Eric Collins. It's been a crazy week here in Knoxville. 1 football coach out, a new football coach in. And despite all the craziness, maybe some people forgetting what a great job Bruce Pearl is doing with this basketball team. In the last 2 weeks, he suspended 4 players, yet they continue to win basketball games.
Well, it might be topsy-turvy in Knoxville, but one thing that hasn't changed is Bruce Pearl's basketball team. They have been consistent, and they have been excellent, beating the #1 team in the country in Kansas, coming back and beating Auburn, and have a chance today against a good Ole Miss basketball team.
Getting ready to tip this one off. Before we do, Coach, let's take a look at your star watch.
Well, first of all, for Ole Miss, Chris Warren. Andy Kennedy calls him special. He's a terrific player.
The Ole Miss Rebels tops in the SEC in scoring. They average 83 points. Here they last played on Thursday right here against Auburn. It's Bobby Mays running the point, J.P. Prince, Scotty Hobson, Ronaldo Woolridge, and Wayne Chisholm, senior, rounding out the starting 5. Ready to play some basketball, SEC style. Tap is won by the Volunteers.
2 good basketball teams, Eric, right here. 2 top 25 teams. A lot of excitement here in Knoxville today.
Getting inside illegally as J.P. Prince shuffled the shoes. Bruce now in his 5th season, 2-time SEC Coach of the Year.
Some trips to the Sweet 16, and obviously what Bruce Pearl has done is energize this Volunteer fan base over the last few years. Obviously today, unbelievable crowd atmosphere, and you got to give Bruce Pearl a lot of credit for that.
Andy Kennedy, himself an SEC Coach of the Year a couple of seasons ago, now in his 4th season. He has never beaten a top 10 team while at Ole Miss. 0-6 so far. Earlier this season, losing against both Villanova and West Virginia when those clubs were ranked in the top 10.
You know, both these teams like to score. Both of them score over 80 points a game. It'll be interesting to see today. Bruce Pearl wants his team to be patient.
Chisholm has to fire as the shot clock was winding down. So neither team looking particularly sharp right out of the chute. Inside, bucket up and in. Eniel Collins with the first two.
I really like him, Eric. You know, he's a player that can score, handle the ball, make plays.
Tap around the rim, spills out. Couple of good looks for Tennessee. Now a loose ball finally picked up by Polynice. Gets it over to Warren, and he'll settle down the offense. Maybe not. Takes a jumper. Cranston offensive rebound, and he's grabbed. Derek Dooley, less than 24 hours after taking the head job. He is here in Knoxville watching this game.
Tennessee does such a great job of denying inbounds passes. When you play against Tennessee, you got to make sure you get the ball in bounds.
Polynice, no. Rebound Woolridge.
This is the guy right here, Bobby Mays. He's been very good the last few games.
This is off the window. Chris Warren quickly brings it across the midfield stripe.
One thing I like about this Ole Miss team, Eric, is a number of different players will bring the ball up the floor.
How about that? Rico White raises and rips. 5-0 lead for Ole Miss.
Whether it's White, Warren, Polynice, they can all bring it. They can all make plays in the break. It makes Ole Miss such a dangerous scoring team.
Volunteers working it around the perimeter. Mays short with that 3 attempt. And it's going to be Ole Miss basketball. Not
to give it to him. Nice start for Ole Miss on the road, up 5-0 with the ball.
Polynice falls, gets up, gets it back. They can't score the goal. Rebound cleared by Ronaldo Woolridge. Mays quickly score the goal, and he's fouled.
Bobby Mays has been electric these last few years. Sometimes when some players are out, other players rise up. This has been one of those guys that has been so much more productive the last few games. He's aggressive, looking to score, looking to bring it in the break. Concentrates after the contact. This guy went from averaging about, I think it was 6 or 7 points a game to 14 points a game, I think, over the last 3 years.
First substitution of the game for Ole Miss. Reginald Buckner comes in, freshman from Memphis. He wears number 2.
Watch Tennessee's defense and how they guard the dribble handoffs.
And Buckner gets inside, misses the layup. Tennessee has won 5 consecutive games. Have not lost here at home all season long. Perfect 9-0. Including a win over the then #1 Kansas Jayhawks 6 days ago. Inside, Chisholm.
Design play by Bruce Pearl. Saw that they were fronting the post, cleared out the weak side, threw it over the top. Recognition by the coaching staff on how to take advantage of Ole Miss's defense.
Trigger. Nice little players, Chris Warren, Jr. from Orlando.
A lot of times when players have injuries, Chris Warren had a knee surgery. Sometimes they come back and they just don't all the way become the player that they were. Chris Warren has exceeded that, according to Andy Kennedy.
Here's Warren. This time gets in the paint and has it blocked from behind, but there's a foul on the floor. They're going to call it on Bobby Mays. Timeout on the floor. 15:37 remaining first half. When we come back, there's some news and notes with Bruce Pearl's program. I'll tell you about it when we come back. Everyone, Knoxville, Tennessee. Ole Miss doubling their pleasure early against Tennessee. 8-4 is our score. Earlier today, comings and goings from the Tennessee Volunteer program Of course, stemming from that incident 2 weeks ago, Tyler Smith was dismissed from the team a week ago. But the change, those bottom two, Cameron Tatum and Melvin Goins, earlier today reinstated to the team. They're not on the bench right now, won't be able to play in today's game. But
Bruce Pearl. It's been a difficult time for Tennessee basketball, but sometimes less does become more. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to keep everybody happy with a fewer number of guys, and the chemistry in the locker room's a little bit better, so they've managed it okay. Now they're going to get 2 players back starting tomorrow.
2 new guards into the game for the Volunteers, Skylar McBee and Josh Bone. Bone with the basketball, gets it over to McBee, who is pushed to the floor by Polynice.
He's certainly been one of those guys, and Tennessee's had a number of players do that.
This is McBee. Going backwards. Hands it off to Bone, the transfer from Southern Illinois.
Ole Miss extends their man-to-man defense, 4 or 5 feet beyond the 3-point line. Tries to get in the, likes to pressure you and get up into you a little bit. Tennessee's got to be able to handle that.
Shot clock down to 8. Hobson, tough off-balance jumper, comes up short. Here come the Rebels. Already with a 6-point lead. Warren. Rebound McBee. He wants to run. Picks up his dribble, frees up Chisholm. Now gets it back. Hall with the rebound. Loses it. Ripped away by Polynice. And it's going to be Ole Miss basketball. 3-on-3. Dump down. Pass stolen away by McBee.
Tough pass to handle. A little bit too hard, a little bit too low.
Oof. There is a battle going on down low. Buckner and Chisholm going at it. Chisholm is going to go to the bench. Returning to the game is Ronaldo Woolridge for Tennessee. Prince. Run down by Woolridge.
There's out.
There he is. Turnaround. Blocked by Buckner. Gets it back. Open look. Someone forgot about Woolridge. Can't make him pay. And a foul going for the loose ball. They're going to call it on number 12. Chris Warren. Technically, Bone and McBee are both walk-ons, but not your typical walk-on. No one's fooling anyone there. Bone was a scholarship player at Southern Illinois, and McBee could have been a scholarship player at a number of different programs. His jump shot is short, and it's going to be Ole Miss basketball.
Tennessee has had some...
A lot of talk has been made of Bruce Pearl and his thin roster, but most programs would be very fortunate if they have walk-ons the caliber of McBee and Bone. Those guys are legitimate Division I players. Inside, layup for Polynice.
One interesting thing with this lineup with Tennessee is that 2 weeks ago, this group right here was not getting a lot of playing time. So for the majority of this group on the floor, this is a good opportunity for them.
Zach Graham just checked into the game, and he rips the triple. His first shot is true.
Zach Graham has been knocking down the 3-point shot consistently for the Ole Miss Rebels. Rebels has played exceptionally well this year.
Prince step back jumper with the left hand. Coach, this is very similar to the start of the game a couple of nights ago here on this floor. Tennessee struggled early against Auburn.
Well, Auburn came in here and knocked down 10 threes in the first half, and Tennessee really picked their defensive intensity up in the second half. You're going to see a lot of ball screens. Double high ball screen here with Ole Miss.
Terrence Henry gets it over to Graham. And we're going to have a foul on a jump shooter. And Bruce Pearl.
46% from the 3-point line. What a luxury for Andy Kennedy's team.
So right now, 3 walk-ons on the floor for Tennessee. Wayne Chisholm, not a walk-on, a 4-year starter. He makes the layup.
Tennessee takes advantage of some full-court pressure by Ole Miss. Dribble handoffs and ball screens. These perimeter players from Ole Miss.
Ball ripped away from Henry. Here come the Volunteers. McBee over to Bone, and now they're going to wait for everyone else.
this lineup on the floor if you're Tennessee. The question is where is your scoring going to come from? Prince driving, Chisholm inside.
McBee gets it inside to Chisholm. Mark, this was the exact same lineup that Bruce Pearl had to turn to on Thursday against Auburn to get his team fired up. Boom with the rip away. Volunteers have numbers. Well, thrown out of there by Zach Graham. So Zach Graham was playing it was a 4-on-1, and he stops it all by himself with the block. Bowling Arena, and Pat Summitt looking on. Her Lady Vols, after a tough season a year ago, playing very good basketball here in the 2009-2010 season. And speaking of influential head coaches here at Tennessee, how about Don DeVoe in the house?
Well, first of all, two phenomenal coaches. Don DeVoe coached some great players like Tony White, Dyron Nix, and all the great players in that era. He went on to coach at the United States Naval Academy. Did a terrific job there as well. Ohio State Buckeye from way back.
Coach Doug Roth with Dyron Nix. Doug Roth, one of the first guys to wear the goggles. Solid player.
Ole Miss comes out of the timeout in a zone defense, little 2-3.
Bobby Mays back on the floor. He was on the bench for a while with 2 fouls. He's got the ball on the wing. Shot clock down to 10.
Not a lot of ball movement by Tennessee. They've got to get something going to the rim.
Elbow jumper. Hobson comes up short, but loose ball picked up by J.P. Prince.
You want to see the ball move against the zone quickly. Don't want the ball to stick in your hands. Ball weak side, screen the ball, but the ball's got to move.
Interior pass. Prince falls to the floor. He's tied up. Alternate possession arrow favors Ole Miss.
Amongst these guards. And they create a lot of that scoring from ball screens, dribble handoffs. How well Tennessee guards the ball screen. Tennessee will switch a lot. Tennessee may trap some.
Long jumper is short. Here comes Tennessee. Tennessee's taken 23 shots already in this ballgame. Only made 5. Stephen Pearl misses the layup, falls to the floor. Ole Miss only taken 11 shots. Ole Miss has taken less than half the amount of shots that Tennessee has, yet they have an 8-point lead. Pollinax has it rejected by Chisholm. Prince on the run out, no one stops him. And he's going to get an opportunity to go to the free throw line. So Ole Miss with the lead and the basketball. Murphy Holloway back into the game, wearing number 31 for the Rebels. He's got the ball, lefty jumper.
Andy Kennedy wants a little more patient. It's the ball inside, outside. Those shots are shots you're going to get after 2 or 3 time. Good 2 or 3 ball possessions and ball reversals.
Ball ripped away, steal by DeAndre Cranston. Holloway. Ole Miss, the first team to 20.
This Ole Miss basketball team can score. It's averaging 83 points a game. Got a number of different guys that can step up and make baskets in the break. What makes them so dangerous.
Chisholm down in the block. Nothing falling for Tennessee. Even when they get close to the rim, layups aren't dropping in. That time it does. Scotty Hobson for 2.
Used his athleticism. Jump up there close to the rim and score the ball.
Bodies flying and a whistle. Offensive foul on Holloway.
Again, concentrating, using his pivot foot, getting strong to the rim, finishing the play.
Stephen Pearl goes to the bench, replaced by Skylar McBee, freshman from Rutledge, Tennessee.
Sometimes the bench is a coach's best friend.
Hobson goes baseline. Little shot inside, just a little bit too strong. Coast to coast. Pollinax can't find it. Offensive rebound, Buckner.
Bruce Pearl using his bench. Sometimes when you're not happy with your first group, the second group of guys gets an opportunity. They came in and played well.
Welcome back, everyone. Rocky Top. Ole Miss feeling good about themselves so far. They lead Tennessee 22-13 under the 8-minute mark of the first half. Taking
directing traffic, running his team.
Bobby Mays is the reigning SEC Player of the Week because of what he did against Charlotte and against the Kansas Jayhawks. Warren gets inside. Rebound ripped away by Chisholm. And Pearl able to save it, but over to the Rebels. It's Mississippi basketball, and we're going to have a foul called on Hobson, riding Terrico White out of bounds.
How about the hustle? Stephen Pearl, this is what you want. Guys coming off the bench, giving their teams a lift. It's going to earn him more playing time right there. Again, keep an eye out for Ole Miss, the ball screens, high ball screens, the way they try to generate offense for their perimeter players.
McBee going to get caught for the reach-in on Polynice. Second foul on McBee.
Defensive player with a basketball, they will blow the whistle.
And a deep toss into the backcourt. And Warren has to track it down. Open look, Cranston. Can hit that shot. Doesn't hit that one. Rebound McBee. Coach, you just wonder. Tennessee's been playing on emotion for a couple of weeks now. When is that bubble going to burst?
Well, that's the question. Is this Tennessee team good enough to sustain this level that they've played at, regardless of the suspensions and being down some players?
Mays cleans up the mess inside.
Or at some point, does this Tennessee team fall back a little bit? That will be the question.
Andy Kennedy doesn't like the way things are going. He calls timeout. Well, it was 6 days ago on this floor, a game that Bruce Pearl called the Miracle on Ice, that type of upset. Skylar McBee and Tennessee knocking off the top-ranked Kansas Jayhawks.
Skylar McBee will be remembered for that one for a long time.
Did you feel it was that big of an upset of Tennessee winning on their home floor against Kansas?
No question. It was a tremendous upset. Kansas is a legitimate 1-2-3 team in the nation. Tennessee just coming off having the players suspended. But again, a lot of times what happens, Eric, when players are suspended, it's like there's too many mouths to feed sometimes. And this is a deep Tennessee team. So sometimes when there's a shortage of players, the rest of the players rally up and play better. And that's what happened against Kansas.
Warren, long jumper. Cranston can't get the rebound. Now he does. Picks up the loose ball. Has it ripped away. Chisholm with the steal. Here comes McBee. And Hobson is fouled. It's not just been one guy who has stepped to the forefront over the last couple of weeks, but it's actually been 4 guys who have really stepped up their game.
Well, and this is what you call an opportunity knocking. And they obviously answered the door. Bobby Mays, he goes from 7.5 to 14. All those guys, J.P. Prince, Woolridge, Kenny Hall. And again, sometimes less is more. Your locker room seems to be a little happier when there's less guys. Guys know that they're going to play, know their role a little bit clearer. And as Bruce Pearl told us this morning, sometimes it's a guy like J.P. Prince. Now, I don't have to come in and try to do something spectacular right away. I know I'm going to play a little bit longer, so I'm a little bit more comfortable in the game.
And we're going to have a foul call, Wayne Chisholm. He may have grabbed the wrist as well as the ball. With Zach Graham going by.
Maybe you talk about Kentucky with John Wall and Bledsoe, but outside of those guys, this might be the best collective group of perimeter players in the SEC.
Tennessee down by 7. They've got the basketball. Kenny Hall into the game. He's got the ball on the block. Josh Bone swings it to Prince. Hall gets it back.
The young freshman. coach.
Here in Knoxville, they keep track of these type of things. That's the 13th dunk in the last 4 games for Mr. Hall. Volunteer basketball. Here they come. Hall again. This time loses the handle. Ahead of the pack. This is Warren.
Well, what a smart play by Chris Warren. As soon as he caught to the rim. Here's Kenny Hall taking it with authority. Young freshman for Tennessee, get an opportunity to play more minutes. And Chris Warren in the break again. I can get to the rim, create some contact, and earn a trip to the foul line. That's a good play by told me he is better than ever, which is good news for a guy that's coming back from a knee injury.
Prince looking for someone. On Josh Bone. Under 5 minutes to play, first half.
This no success against them with their zone defense. Goes back to the man.
3-on-2 break. Warren gets it. Before the shot, offensive foul called on Emil Polynice. That's the way you stop a break.
You know, when you're coming in the break with the basketball, you've got to make a 2-foot jump stop. You cannot let your body weight carry into the defender. A 2-foot jump stop, on balance, under control. Josh Bone with the charge, but Polynice obviously needs to be a little bit more under control in the break.
Second foul on Polynice. He goes to the bench. Working the baseline, and for the second time in the first half, J.P. Prince is tied up on one of his shots. Ulrich over to Bone.
Back to the zone on underneath out of bounds. A lot of coaches like to play zone. The ball is inbounded underneath the basket.
Prince hangs. Open look for McBee.
Tennessee's had success against Ole Miss's 2-3 zone.
Gets inside, loses it, last touch by Tennessee. It'll be Ole Miss basketball. When we come back, 3:46 remaining here in the first half. Tennessee trying to get back into it. They trail the Rebels by 4. One of the most bizarre weeks in the history of Tennessee sports coming to a close with this announcement. Moments ago, Derek Dooley introduced to the crowd here at Thompson-Boling Arena as the newest coach of the Tennessee ball football team.
Well, he's got to be tremendously excited. He's already got the young kids with their Tennessee hats. They're excited. They got the Tennessee gear. He has got to be tremendously excited. What an opportunity for him. This place erupted. He's got to feel good about that.
Derek Dooley is the son of legendary Georgia Bulldog head coach Vince Dooley in the College Football Hall of Fame. Most recently, the head man and the athletic director at Louisiana Tech in Ruston, Louisiana. He's going to join us at halftime. You're going to want to stick around for that. Get a chance to get up close and personal with the new football coach here at Tennessee.
Again, high ball screens for Ole Miss. You're going to see a lot of them.
Trevor Gaskins hands it off to Warren. Warren working against Josh Bone, hands it off to Tarico White. Warren, quick trigger from deep. 3-ball for Warren, his second three-pointer of the first half.
Tennessee defended the ball screens, switched, and really guarded it well. Warren just rose up and knocked one down over top of him.
Bone thought about it, instead works it around the perimeter. Prince in the paint, back to Bone.
Andy Kennedy with some confidence in the zone. And back to it.
Rico White has been fairly quiet here in the first 17 minutes.
Eric, Tennessee will switch a lot of the ball screens. They'll trap some of them. Tennessee feels like they're versatile enough to switch them and to not allow Ole Miss to have a lot of penetration.
Wayne Chisholm is down on the ground and in pain.
ankle. I think he rolled his ankle a little bit. Hopefully.
Ninth all-time in Tennessee and rebounded 755 caroms coming into this ball game.
Nice ball movement. Now they've got the ball moving. It's not touching the floor, but he reversed it side to side.
Skip pass, McBee. Chisholm, offensive rebound. I think he's doing just fine. 8 points now for the senior.
This last 2 minutes is critical. For Ole Miss, you had a 9-point lead at one time. It's now 5. Tennessee obviously wants to go into the half. A better position than they are now.
Blocked by Hall. Balls don't have numbers.
They just lost the handle.
Now the Rebels with the advantage, but a pass a little bit too strong is intercepted. And Prince is fouled in the backcourt.
Boy, those kind right there. You've got a fast break opportunity. You get nothing in the break and end up with a foul. Two-handed rebound. Fundamental play. And Ole Miss has had some chances in the break, Eric, where they've got to come out of those fast breaks with points. Pollock got to capitalize on those.
Lead down to 3. And contact. 124 fouls the other 24.
Tony at South Carolina, not afraid to take those shots.
Ole Miss 11 for 12 at the free throw line. One of the reasons they've got a 5-point lead. Inside, Chisholm, nice catch. Reverse layup is good. Early in the game, Tennessee was missing their shots inside. They're not missing them anymore.
No, I think they've just been patient. Scored the ball around the basket.
Offensive foul on Graham. Warren out of control as he went to the bucket.
Same play as Polynice a few plays ago. When you drive to the basket, you've got to be under control. You can't leave your feet and allow your body to fly through the air unless no one's around. Make a 2-foot jump stop. Kenny Hall steps in there again, gives up his body, the young freshman. Offensively playing well, defensively taking the charge.
So with less than a minute to play, Chris Warren goes to the bench. He's replaced by Trevor Gaskins. And the Volunteers slowing it down a bit.
Tennessee wants some patience.
Bobby May. Wow, floater in the lane.
Nice move.
Rico White. And Chisholm, good catch. Can't make the layup.
Andy Kennedy wants one shot the last 24 seconds. 5-point lead and the ball on the road before the half. If you're Andy Kennedy, you've got to like the position that your team is in. There's a high ball screen.
White keeps his dribble alive, gets it to Cranston. Loose ball. Prince is going to have to heave. That'll do it. 20 minutes in the books. Wayne Chisholm and the Tennessee Volunteers. They trail Ole Miss by 5. At one point, Tennessee was down by 12 points in the first half, but they make it to a decent-sized lead for Ole Miss as they go to the locker room. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will welcome Derek Dooley, new head coach of the Tennessee football team, will join us. Don't go anywhere. After 20 minutes of basketball. Now, big news here in these parts. New head football coach for the Tennessee football program. Derek Dooley announced last night, taking over for Lane Kiffin. Derek Dooley has been around the block a time or two. Son of former Georgia Bulldog Hall of Fame coach Vince Dooley. Derek played his college football at Virginia. He's got a law degree. He has been with Nick Saban at LSU and with the Miami Dolphins. Most recently, not only the head coach, but also the athletic director with the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech. Congratulations, Coach. Brand new job. I'm sure you're excited. I want to ask you right out of the chute. What have the last couple of days been like with the whole recruitment and taking this job?
Well, it's been active, that's for sure. But I'm very gracious for the opportunity. I'm humbled. I'm honored to be here at Tennessee. It's a dream job for any coach, and we're just excited to get the ball rolling.
Coach, let me ask you a question. Around the country, your recruits, guys you're looking at, somebody might say your overall record 17-20. I'm a recruit. Why Derek Dooley?
Well, let's start with, I'm really proud of our body of work at Louisiana Tech. We did something there that they hadn't done in 30 years, going to a bowl game, winning the bowl game, finished second in the league. But I think I made a tough decision. I could have stayed on with Nick, gone to Alabama, and maybe been a little more popular choice in this point. But instead, I chose to take over a tough situation, did a lot of great things that have helped me be better prepared for this job. And I think even though it may not be the most popular, it certainly made me a lot more qualified.
Coach, I want to ask you, for the people who haven't had a chance to see your Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech play last couple of years, paint the picture. What's the style of play going to be like offensively and defensively?
Well, I think everything starts with building some intangible values of how you compete. And I think before you put any plays in and before you put in all the fancy design, you better make sure you're playing with some toughness, you're playing with great effort, and you're playing disciplined football, and you're doing it together as a team. And I think when you play with that kind of spirit and that kind of passion, no matter what you run, your fans will really appreciate how you compete.
Coach, one more from me too as well. You had to serve two roles, coach and athletic director, and most people may not realize how much time you have to spend at both. How nice is it going to be for you not to have to worry about that and just coach your team?
Yeah, I almost laughed when they said, are you going to be able to manage all the multiple things that comes with being the head coach in Tennessee? And I said, are you kidding me? I said, I do all you guys' job at Louisiana Tech. It's a one-man show. It will be, I'm going to miss some of that, but I do think it brings a real good perspective. It's going to help my relationship with Mike Hamilton, a great athletics director here, and I do think it will allow me to concentrate a little bit more in some areas in football.
Well, good.
And, Coach, I just want to ask you, there's been so much talk last couple of days, Lane Kiffin leaving to go to USC. Athletic director Mike Hamilton makes a big point of saying Tennessee should be and always will be a destination job, a job where you finish your career. You've obviously got connections down to Georgia. Your father was there for a long time. Is this a destination job for you?
I don't think there's any question. And, there's no one sentence that's going to convince everybody that I feel that way. But I think anybody that knows me, they saw I went away from college. I went to Virginia. I've always kind of had a mind of my own. What a special place this is. And we're excited to get it started.
And have you had a chance to meet Pat Summitt? Maybe that's the most important question.
Yeah, I did. I have so much.
To the words to Rocky Top. How about that?
I'll already have that down by then.
All right, sounds good. Congratulations. Good to meet you. And good luck
Coach,
with your,
Thanks, guys. Thanks
your
for
big
having me.
venture. Derek Dooley, new head football coach here on Rocky Top. We're going to take a quick time out. The Cellular South halftime report rolls on in a moment. First half of play. Tennessee didn't do very many things well, yet they're only down by 5.
Well, they didn't shoot the ball very well from the perimeter. They only made one three-point basket, but they went inside to Chisholm, and I think Chisholm has been the key for them. Ole Miss, on the other hand, they've made some threes. They've stepped up and drilled shots. They're perfect from the foul line, 11 for 11. If you're Andy Kennedy on the road at Tennessee right now, you got to feel pretty good with where you are sitting at this point in the game.
All right, if you missed any of the first 20 minutes of play, let's get you up to speed with our first half highlights.
Skins all making threes. Tennessee going inside. Wayne Chisholm. He's been the workhorse for the Vols here in the first half. He's had a great first half. Rolled his ankle a bit. Didn't let it slow him down.
Kind of a rarity in this ball game. We expected an offensive slugfest, but we haven't gotten that. These are the two of the top 3 teams in terms of scoring in the SEC, but the scoring is way down as we take a look at the Crystal first half stats.
Well, like we talked about, Tennessee 1 for 12 from the three-point line. Ole Miss 11 for 11 from the line. I think you're going to see a lot of scoring in the second half. These two teams like to play in the 80s. They both have scores that can generate baskets, so this second half is going to be a little bit different than the first.
Ole Miss, they shot just 32% as a club. Misfire on their first shot here in the second half. Bodies flying, no whistle. Loose ball picked up. Tarico White loses it back over to Scotty Hopson, and now we get a whistle. No foul on Tarico White. No one on either side has more than 2 fouls. So no significant foul trouble for either team. Tennessee with Bobby Mays working the ball up high against Chris Warren. Gets a screen from Ronaldo Woolridge. Pull-up jumper. A little bit short. Rebound DeAndre Cranston. Ole Miss 1-1 in league play. They lost at home against Mississippi State a week ago. And 3 days ago, one down in Athens against the Georgia Bulldogs. Quick trigger. Tariq White misses everything. Block shot inside. J.P. Prince got a hand on it. And now Chris Warren's going to set up some offense up high. Long jumper. Third three-pointer of the game for Warren.
Got some courage. Doesn't take him a lot of time to let it go. He doesn't need a lot of space for a smaller player.
13 points now for Warren.
Bobby Mays has had to be more of a playmaker. The absence of Tyler Smith. The ball's been in his hands more and trying to create more offense.
Trying to dig the ball out of there. They're going to call that foul on Chris Warren.
Traditional ways. This guy's from Orlando, Florida. Chris Warren is. Andy Kennedy went down into Florida. Signed him. He's been a great player for Ole Miss.
Again, bodies flying. Offensive foul, Eniel Polynice. He's got 3 fouls.
Balance up with the charge and another foul.
So Polynice and Warren both on the floor with 3 fouls. Hobson goes to the rack.
An isolation clear-out play by Bruce Pearl, designed to clear out one side of the floor, executed perfectly.
In and out, Warren can't find it. Here come the balls. Mays, yes!
Speed, Eric, speed from length to length. We've seen John Wall, Devin Downey. This guy right here, Bobby Mays, has got speed going to the basket.
The reigning SEC Player of the Week, Bobby Mays, goes coast to coast. It's just a 2-point game here in Knoxville. By just 2 moments ago, Bobby Mays going through a labyrinth of Ole Miss defenders and finishing with the left hand. This kid has really stepped up over the last 2 weeks.
There's no question. I think when you have an absence of players, and Tyler Smith was a player for Bruce Pearl that created a lot of offense. I think Bruce Pearl tried to find ways to give Tyler Smith the opportunity to dribble drive and really create plays. With the absence of Tyler Smith, more of that responsibility is now on Bobby Mays. He's now had to create more plays. He's got more opportunities to drive. His role has stepped up. And I think that he has done a terrific job here in the last couple, 2 or 3 games of really rising his game up, which has enabled Tennessee to play so much better.
He flat out outplayed Sherron Collins last Sunday on this floor when Tennessee knocked off the top-ranked team in the country, the Kansas Jayhawks.
Tennessee came out of a timeout, wanted to trap the first pass. Again, see if they could, a little bit of surprise and change. Catch Ole Miss off guard.
Zach Graham now into the game, replacing Eniel Polynice. Polynice with 3 personal fouls being protected on Andy Kennedy's bench. This is Holloway up high against Chisholm. Shot clock down at 8. Handoff to Graham. Working the baseline. Step back jumper. Tough shot for Graham.
Again, a player off the bench who can knock down that kind of shot and give your team that kind of a scoring lift. It's been huge for Andy Kennedy's Ole Miss basketball team.
Zach Graham averages 10 points a night. He's got 10 points right now.
Tennessee likes to space the floor out, bring their guards way high.
Hobson can't get the roll. Man-sized rebound by Reginald Buckner.
Tennessee has had their most success when they've gone inside to Chisholm. That is where today that their bread has been buttered. That's where they need to go with it, is back to Chisholm.
Warren, someone forgot about him.
Any space at all, Eric, he's got room to get it up. He can shoot it well. He shoots it quick.
Warren's now made 4 3-pointers. He's 4 for 8 from deep.
Ole Miss back in the zone. Trying to take away inside play at Chisholm. Force Tennessee to shoot shots from the perimeter.
Hobson can't answer. Chisholm loses it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Volunteers. Knoxville, Tennessee, 2 ranked clubs. 23rd ranked Ole Miss Rebels against the number 10 Tennessee Volunteers. Mark Gottfried, former Alabama head coach. I'm Eric Collins. Bruce Pearl has had great success here at home. A perfect 9-0 so far this season, including a win 6 days ago. It's the top-ranked team in the country, the Kansas Jayhawks, on this court.
Andy Kennedy has made an adjustment. They've got bodies everywhere around Chisholm. And right now, what Andy Kennedy says is we're going to clog the middle, we're going to put one in front behind, and we're going to see if you can make some shots from the perimeter.
Rico White working against Ronaldo Woolridge. White still with the basketball. Over to Graham. Offensive rebound. Buckner's pushed from behind. Tennessee trailing Ole Miss 41-34, 15-16 remaining here in the second half. All season long, Champion Apparel will be showcasing the tradition and history of the SEC Conference. Today, let's take a look at Allen Houston, former Volunteer guard, a 4-year player, over 2,800 points in 4 years.
Pretty good player. What a great shooter.
Just a little bit over 2,800 points, 2,801. He made 346 three-point field goals, second in school history. And then, of course, a long NBA career, most of it with the New York Knicks. The only man who has made more three-pointers. While Smokey was looking on, Chris Lofton.
Another great shooter. One of the best this conference has ever seen in the history of the SEC.
Lofton, Houston, Jim Farmer, Mark Gottfried. Chris Jackson, maybe.
You get better as years go by, your statistics improve. They always go up. A couple points every year.
Rex Chapman, Jim Master, Mark Gottfried. Buckner at the free throw line. He's usually about a 50-50 proposition, and he is there. Misses the first, makes the second. Lead swells to 8. Ole Miss is not shooting well, just 30%, but they lead by a bunch against the Volunteers.
Again, against the zone. What we want to look for is ball movement. We want to find Chisholm. Chisholm is the guy that we've got to keep an eye on for Tennessee.
Skylar McBee and Scotty Hobson. Hobson has the ball up high. McBee made it 3 in the first half. Pull up 8. Stays with Tennessee.
Attack in the middle of the zone. Let the ball go to the middle of the zone. Suck the defense in, and you can really move it and make the defense work. Ole Miss has had success with their 2-3 zone here against Tennessee.
Bone left alone. Hits the 3. He's really stepped up over the last 3 games.
Can Tennessee generate some turnovers against Ole Miss? They're one of the best teams in the country at forcing turnovers.
Cranston is whacked.
And finds ways with the trapping different styles of defenses to get teams to cough it up. And so far today, Ole Miss has done a pretty good job of not giving away possessions with turnovers. Ole Miss back in the man, excuse me. Now they've switched their defenses.
All really wanted it on the block for good basketball. Now they'll start the offense. 10 seconds on the shot clock. McBee has it go through the fingertips, so it's going to have to hurry. Contested 3. Almost hit it. Offensive rebound, Hall. And he'll go to the free throw line. Skylar McBee at least able to get that ball on the rim, and it allows an opportunity for free throws.
Skylar McBee, he might be at his best when the shot clock is winding down. Tennessee fortunate on a tough long shot with the shot clock expiring, coming up with an offensive rebound, and now an opportunity to go to the foul line.
Auburn Tigers, that game down to the Plains. In Auburn, Alabama. 4 Eastern, 3 Central. Kentucky yet to lose so far this season.
Andy Kennedy likes to utilize his ball screens at the top of the key. Tennessee that time did a poor job. Not sure whether they were going to switch it, go under it, trap it. Ole Miss takes advantage of it with a drive to the basket.
Couple of walk-ons in the backcourt for Tennessee. McBee and Bone. Down low, Hall. Little too strong from 2 feet. And it's going to be Ole Miss basketball.
Nice no call by Mike Nance, the official, letting him play. Sometimes there's contact that really has no effect on the game. Good officials let that go.
Gaskins gets inside, and he's going to be called for the offensive foul. That is the 3rd charge we have seen from an Ole Miss Rebel so far in this ball game.
Well, and Ole Miss top of the key. But Gaskins, then again, he charges. He's a little bit out of control, needs a 2-foot jump stop.
Chisholm along the baseline, steps on the end line.
Well, number one, he allows his guards to play, and he allows them to shoot with freedom.
Just like that, Zach Graham hits the triple.
If you're a guard and you're a scoring guard, Andy Kennedy's a great guy to play for because there's freedom. There's structure. They know when and when not to, but at the same time, he allows those guys some room to play. Bruce Pearl from anywhere, anytime, always had the ability to kill you with a 3-pointer.
Shot is missed from the outside. Josh Bone can't hit 2 in a row. No love for Rex Chapman.
He was good.
Kyle Macy.
I'm staying with Chris Lofton.
And that's going to be a carrying of the basketball. Zach Graham was bumped a little bit, lost the handle, tried to keep dribbling. And the referee saying... Welcome back to Rocky Top. Tennessee quite possibly on the ropes. They're down by 11 with 11 minutes and 44 seconds to play. Ole Miss riding Chris Warren, Zach Graham, and others to this 11-point lead. Lane Chisholm and the Vols are going to have to get started.
Again, Bruce Pearl using his bench. Stephen Pearl in the game. Not afraid to use his bench.
The way that Tennessee has had their roster depleted in the last couple of weeks, do they have the firepower to make up big deficits like this?
That's going to be the question. As I watch this Tennessee team, and I know they have beaten Kansas, terrific win, beaten Auburn here. Is with a limited roster and a little bit different roster. Can they sustain this, or is this more of an emotional kind of period right now that they've been able to win?
Shot clock down at 5. Hobson, jumper no, one-handed rebound Chisholm. Fresh shot clock. And we're going to have a whistle and a foul.
And out. Your team has to get into a groove and in a rhythm. So for Tennessee, there may be a little bit of a bump in the road before they can kind of get everybody back to a good rhythm on the same page again.
Ole Miss has to call a timeout as they have trouble inbounding the basketball. Well, Ole Miss is trying to knock off a top 10 team for the first time in the Andy Kennedy era. Actually, last time they... Lead is 9 for Ole Miss. Chris Warren back in the game, handling the ball up high. Loose ball stolen away. Hobson has it ripped away from behind by Polynice. Now Polynice gets it back and misses the layup.
Tough break for Ole Miss. Got the ball back, missed the layup.
Pearl inside, reverse. Will go to the free throw line. Cranston all have 3 fouls for Ole Miss.
Both teams have had some opportunities to score and have come away empty in the last couple trips.
Graham has the ball. Dump down. And a whistle and a foul. Holloway tried to turn around and he was grabbed.
As soon as the second hand touches the defender, officials are coached well that is a foul. They'll blow the whistle quickly. And 2 hands are on the ball handler.
Polynice gets a screen, keeps his dribble alive. Over to Graham.
Tennessee trying to trap a little bit more and try to scramble.
Pearl hits the deck, no whistle. Graham the jumper, wide left.
Graham on the jump shot.
Pearl Burrow goes to the bench. Back into the game comes number 20, Kenny Hall, for Tennessee.
This is a key 3 or 4 minutes coming up right here for Tennessee.
Hobson, hand in his face, can't hit the jumper. Rebound cleared by Henry.
Again, if you're Tennessee, I like that thing going to Chisholm. There's the guy that's had some success today. Get the ball around the basket a little bit. Tennessee has certainly extended their defense a lot farther than they were earlier.
Warren, his 5th three-pointer.
Are you kidding me? We can't even see the guy over there. He's so small. And he jumps up and drills it.
19 points for the junior from Orlando.
One of Andy Kennedy's first recruits when he came to Ole Miss, Chris Warren.
Prince gets the roll. Now, say what you will about Andy Kennedy. He is not afraid to recruit a small guard. He brought Devin Downey up to Cincinnati when he was working with Bob Huggins. And he brings in Chris Warren as one of his first recruits with Ole Miss.
With 8 minutes to go, this next 3 or 4 minutes for Ole Miss, the poise to continue to score, have patience, get good shots. For Tennessee to create some havoc and some turnovers.
Shot is missed. Rebound up and missed by Buckner. Here come the Volunteers, down by 10. Chisholm. It'll be Ole Miss basketball.
Needs to look to him. Ole Miss, on the other hand, has done a very good job. Good shot selection, having some patience and poise offensively.
Quick shot. A little bit short. Rico White misses it. Head of the pack. This is Hobson.
Chris Warren with 3 fouls. Had to let him go.
Ball poked away. Hobson gets it to Prince.
Sometimes as a coach right now, you've got a TV timeout coming, but you said, I've still got to use one. Andy Kennedy takes a timeout. Sometimes that's a tough thing for coaches. You're waiting, not wanting to use your timeouts, but Andy Kennedy had to use one.
So, back-to-back dunks. First Scotty Hobson, then J.P. Prince. And what had been a 12-point lead is now sliced down to a half dozen.
Again, we talked about Tennessee's ability to generate points off of turnovers. They're able to get deflections, push it ahead. 2 fast break dunks. Again, coming off of the quick hands and Tennessee's ability to create a turnover.
Just a reminder, don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we've got more SEC action coming your way. The second-ranked team in the entire country, Don Calipari's Kentucky Wildcats time.
Tennessee's bringing the heat. They've had 2 straight turnovers that turned into baskets. Bruce Pearl now says, we're going to get you 94 feet. Ole Miss has got to be able to handle the press. I always say catch, pivot, and look.
Cranston has it poked away by Prince. And now we've got the under 8 TV timeout. Tennessee Volunteers, they're making a run. Couple of dunks. Scotty Hobson, and then this one by J.P. Prince puts a smile on Pat Summitt's face. Bowling Arena is our venue here in Knoxville. Locals getting fired up. Their team was down 12 just moments ago, but a couple of fast break hoops, and they're now down by just 6.
And their fast break baskets have come on the result of them getting deflections and turning turnovers into basket. That's Tennessee's strength, is to create turnovers. Now, Ole Miss, their strength has always been this year not to turn it over. And again, 7 minutes to go, a lot of basketball left in the game. If you're Ole Miss, you've got to handle this pressure and still get great possessions offensively.
Rebel basketball, pressure in the backcourt. They get it to the guy they want with the basketball, Chris Warren, and he walks it up. Inside, Tarico White is fouled.
Sets Chris Warren from Orlando, Florida. They've just done a terrific job, their staff, of locating really good players. Sometimes those guys are flying under the radar just a little bit, and then doing a terrific job of recruiting them.
Yeah, that's going to change next year. A couple of Ballyhoo recruits coming to Oxford. Both of them Mississippi natives. Chisholm rattles home the three.
Lane Chisholm knocking down a huge three for Tennessee.
17 points now for Chisholm. Ball moving on the perimeter. Graham over to Cranston, working the baseline, tipped it around.
Sometimes you can overpass the ball. Cranston might have wanted to take that one strong to the basket, but Tennessee, a little bit like the Auburn game. The defensive intensity later in the game really picked up in the Auburn game. We're seeing a much more aggressive defensive team by Tennessee here in the last few minutes.
Triggers the inbound, gets it to Tarico White. Ripped away, Prince with the basketball. Stolen back by Warren. And Warren is roughed up by Kenny Hall. They're going to call a...
Andy Kennedy says, nope, not going to let that happen. Ole Miss doing a nice job trying to get Tarico White freed up around the rim.
Cranston. By Hall, Tennessee basketball.
Bad shots are like turnovers sometimes. It's the same thing. You got to get a good look.
Chisholm, 2 in a row.
Bruce Pearl knows his team. Wayne Chisholm hits 2 in a row.
Warren can't answer. Tennessee can tie or go ahead. Locked out of bounds by Buckner.
2 big threes by Wayne Chisholm. On balance, under control. Letting it fly and having some fun. Knoxville, Tennessee.
You didn't like those when they were missing, but now that he's making them, you're changing your tune.
All of us coaches are like that. No, no, no. Yes, yes, yes. Good shot.
Skip pass. Bone.
Tennessee has found the range from the three-point line.
First lead of the ball game for the Volunteers. And now it's Ole Miss that's on the ropes. Graham gets 2 back.
Much needed basket to quiet the crowd. And again, if you're Ole Miss, you've got to continue to score. Executing your offense, making sure you're getting great shots. Andy Kennedy staying in the zone.
Last 9 points for Tennessee have been scored on triples. Bad pass, and it's going to be Ole Miss basketball.
Key possession for Ole Miss.
Loose ball, who's got it? Tennessee! Prince! Tennessee is the depleted team, but it seems as if they're the team playing with all the energy. Graham is going to go to the free throw line. This game has just gotten exciting. Took a while, but both teams had their C-leagues underneath them, and we're playing some basketball. 3:54 remaining. Bruce Pearl's team up by 1. J.P. Prince, the senior from Memphis, picks up the loose ball and takes it the final 40 feet to give the Vols the lead.
Scotty Hobson. Tennessee is very lucky that that was not called a foul. Scotty Hobson liking the fact that Derek Dooley is in the house. Tried to lay a block out there for his teammate, and J.P. Prince was able to take it all the way into the basket. But again, Tennessee fortunate. That could have easily been called a foul.
Would someone ever dare to make that call?
Oh, I think you got officials that will call the game as they see it. Again, if they thought that was a foul, I think they would have. But again, it was close. Close to being a legitimate foul in the break.
2 free throws for Zach Graham. That's Graham's first miss from the free throw line. Graham is now 5 for 6. Make it 6 for 7. We're all tied at 57.
Tennessee had a stretch where they created baskets off of turnovers and then obviously knocked down 3 big threes. Now Tennessee's going to execute their offense. Again, Chisholm inside, J.P. Prince penetrating some.
Coach, Tennessee is doing this without the reigning SEC Player of the Week. Bobby Mays has been on the bench for a while. It's been Josh Bone on the court in his place. Prince step back jumper. No, Chisholm can't get it. It's going to be Ole Miss basketball.
Good call by
Bobby Mays looking on.
A lot of times coaches get comfortable with whatever lineup they particularly have in the game. And Bruce Pearl right now choosing to play Josh Bone.
Graham hands it off. Gets it back. Ball poked away. It stays with the Rebels.
Tennessee's always active. They got active hands, active feet. They deflect a lot of passes on the perimeter. That last pass was a pass that was going to the interior. Chisholm deflects it out of bounds.
Shot clock at 12.
Rico White going to take it by himself.
The dish. Buckner, no call. Chisholm with the block.
Wow, what a block by Wayne Chisholm. How about the plays that young man has made today?
And Bruce Pearl's going to draw up some offense. Wayne Chisholm got the ball back, and now the Volunteers a chance to take the lead.
Huge block by Wayne Chisholm. Nice penetration by Ole Miss. Wayne Chisholm cleanly sends that away. Now, in this timeout, Eric, tie game, Bruce Pearl has called the timeout because he wants to dictate exactly where the ball goes. He understands right now 2:36 to go. He wants the ball in a specific place on the floor, whether that's Chisholm inside, Prince driving. That was the reason for the timeout. Score tied, 2:36 to go.
All right, give us your best first guess. Who do you think Bruce Pearl wants to get the basketball to?
Well, even though Chisholm has made a couple threes, I still think he's going to Chisholm inside. That's their strength. Obviously, J.P. Prince driving the basketball, especially to his left hand. But again, this timeout is designed for that. Now, Andy Kennedy, on the other hand, he says to his team, guys, there's 26 seconds on the shot clock. You've got to look them eyeball to eyeball and get a stop. This is huge right now for both teams, defensively for Ole Miss, offensively for Tennessee.
Tennessee riding a 5-game winning streak. They're 9-0 at home, trying to go to 2-0 in SEC play. It's going to be J.P. Prince taking the ball out of bounds close to midcourt. Mays continues on the bench. Josh Bone replacing him in the lineup. Bone's got the ball up high, working against Warren. High-low, inside to Hall, takes his time, and is going to go to the free throw line.
The confidence that Bruce Pearl has shown in this young fella right here. When Kenny Hall plays, when he comes in the game, Wayne Chisholm becomes the 4-man. Kenny Hall is the 5. When Kenny Hall's not in the game, Wayne Chisholm is the 5. So Bruce Pearl obviously right there has got some confidence, goes inside.
That foul called on Reginald Buckner, his 4th. So Buckner is the first man on either side to pick up 4 fouls. 5 and you're out.
Free throw block out on a miss can be huge at this point in the game. Tennessee picks him up, man-to-man defense.
Warren, tough floater. Rebound, Chisholm.
Quick shot by Chris Warren. Down one on a possession where you wanted to get a great shot.
And we're going to have a foul on Tennessee. An illegal screen set by Kenny Hall.
A lot of contact away from the basketball. In an emotional game, sometimes you got guys jawing a little bit. Kenny Hall, not much there. He lowered his shoulder a little bit, put the chicken wing out a little bit, but again, with the amount of contact that you have back and forth, that's a tough call if you're Bruce Pearl.
Now Kenny Hall.
Think back to that 7-8 minute mark when Ole Miss turned it over a few times. Obviously, the overtime, Ole Miss has to take care of the basketball, and on every trip, you want to score, get fouled, or get a great shot.
Warren, the hesitation, sets up Holloway, gets it back. And working against McBee, over to Warren. Loses the handle. Chisholm picks it up.
Turnovers hurt you. You want to score, get fouled, or get great shots. Tough possession for Ole Miss.
Josh Bone has been on the floor for the last 10 minutes of this ball game. He's a walk-on. He's playing in place of Bobby Mays, who's the reigning SEC Player of the Week. This is Bone. Rebound Cranston. Are you surprised that Bobby Mays is not getting any tips?
Well, in a way, yes, but at the same time, I think Bruce Pearl has enough confidence in every guy that's got a uniform on. He's going to play who he's comfortable with, and today, down the stretch, obviously, it's been Josh Bone.
Rico White leaves for Graham. Takes his time, throws up a wild shot, and it's going to be Mississippi basketball. And I think Zach Graham just got caught with his headband in his eyes. Couldn't see the basketball. Hobson, no. Rebound Cranston.
Andy Kennedy wants a timeout, Eric. He wants to get his team organized. This is key for Andy Kennedy, just to get his team settled down. Let's make sure we get a good possession.
Well, we've had 2 baskets so far here in overtime. Murphy Holloway for Ole Miss. And answering on the other side, Scotty Hobson for Tennessee. I'm out on the floor. 61 halfway through this overtime period. Ole Miss missing an opportunity a moment ago. Crazy play.
Hustling for the basketball. And the headband is down around the eyes. You know, it's a pet peeve of mine as coaches. I just, you know, I know young players like to wear headbands, but that was an opportunity for them to score, obviously, and just kind of a unique situation where the headband got pulled down over his eye and he couldn't see the basket.
Just getting started here in the SEC. Game following us. 4 o'clock Eastern time, 3 o'clock Central time on the SEC Network. How about number 2 Kentucky taking on Auburn? That game on the road. Should John Calipari be in a little bit of a, should he be worried at all?
Coaches worry all the time, and obviously Kentucky's very good, but they're going on the road in the SEC, and Kentucky obviously should be able to take care of things, but again, they have to play every night in this league, and John Calipari knows that, especially when you got 3 freshmen in the starting lineup for Kentucky Wildcats.
All right, getting ready to play. Inbounding the ball, Zach Graham does not have the headband on now. Missed a shot when the headband fell down a moment ago. Has it off. Ball loose. It's going to be Tennessee basketball.
Again, inbounding the basketball, Tennessee makes a point of emphasis for them to deny everything. A lot of contact. I would have liked to seen a foul called on that. I think there was a foul committed. Ole Miss should have been at the foul line shooting a 1-on-1.
Chisholm throws it to no one in particular. He thought Scotty Hobson was going to be on the wing, but he wasn't there.
Ole Miss now utilizing the ball screens high. Terrico White coming off of screens on the baseline.
White has the basketball on the wing. Ram over to Warren. Ram from distance. Loose ball. Tennessee basketball. Ole Miss at one point leading by 13 in the first half against the Tennessee Volunteers. Now having to slug it out in overtime. Under 2 minutes to play.
The middle of the floor with the SEC logo on is where Tennessee needs to attack this zone, whether by pass or by dribble.
Bone.
That shot created off some terrific penetration by J.P. Prince.
Bone had made 1 3-pointer in 7 attempts coming into this game. Rewarding Coach Pearl's confidence in him. Terrico White answers and he's fouled.
With the 3-point shot and foul. Prince, the confidence by Josh Bone. The opportunity to play today. And Terrico White answers with a 3-pointer and a foul with a chance to go to the foul line. Again, Tennessee now down 1. Again, the penetration has been key for them against this Ole Miss 2-3 zone, whether it's penetration from the wing. They've got to get in the middle of the floor, which creates opportunities everywhere against the zone defense.
And a timeout called by Bruce Pearl. They've still got 2 remaining. Ole Miss, they have no timeouts remaining. While we have the timeout on the floor, let's take a look at our Geico play of the game. Happened just a moment ago. Knoxville, Tennessee, a day after the Tennessee Volunteer football team announces a new head coach in Derek Dooley. The Tennessee basketball team trying to steal the headlines in the paper. They've got a chance to knock off the ranked Ole Miss team with Mark Gottfried. I'm Eric Collins. Ole Miss does not have a timeout to work with for these final 55 seconds. Coming up next, Kentucky taking on Auburn. Shot clock is at 15. Chisholm gets inside and he's fouled.
Coming out of the timeout, Bruce Pearl wanted the ball right in the middle of the zone. We call that right in the heart of the zone. Wayne Chisholm flashes in. On the ball reversal, Wayne Chisholm floats right to the middle of the floor. That's the soft spot of the zone. Tennessee, the last 2 trips, have done a nice job of getting the ball right into the heart of the zone, created a 3-pointer. This time created an opportunity for Wayne Chisholm.
That foul on DeAndre Cranston, the senior from Orlando, Florida, fouls out.
Mentioned this 1 or 2 times. Free throw block out. In case the foul shot is missed, Ole Miss has to do a good job of making sure that everybody's blocked out, that somebody has the shooter. If there's a long rebound off the rim, that everybody's got somebody and the defensive team comes away with it. So many times you see in the game on missed foul shots, the defensive team does not come out of the possession with the ball.
Chisholm is the man that Bruce Pearl wants on the line. He's now 5 for 5.
Just like you want your senior to do. Make big shots, want the ball at key times.
Ole Miss does not have a timeout.
Tennessee has switched from their man-to-man defense now to a zone. They're going to match up out of it. Try to eliminate some penetration.
Warren has his shot blocked by Prince. Ole Miss keeps it. Shot clock does not reset. And Bone with the ripple wave. Josh Bone has been a revelation for the Volunteers.
The lesson sometimes for young players is to stay ready. When you get called upon to play, like Josh Bone has today, you stay ready for when your opportunity comes. Unbelievable contest by J.P. Prince. Terrific hustle all over the floor by both teams.
And the right man going to the free throw line for Tennessee. Chisholm, 6 for 6, 22 points. Will shoot 2.
Dribbler and take away the opportunity. Oh,
Warren, an unforced error. That's 2 consecutive turnovers for the junior Chris Warren.
You've got to deny and foul immediately.
Chisholm is tripped in the backcourt by Reginald Buckner. He'll go the other way and shoot 2.
A foul shot here makes it a 4-point game, a 2-possession game.
That's the 5th foul on Reginald Buckner. He joins Cranston on the bench. Coach, you see things. You were talking about how turnovers would be a big issue. Ole Miss doesn't commit a lot of them. Tennessee forces a lot of them. Here in the overtime period, the turnovers for Ole Miss just haunting them.
Well, it's killed them. And they've had a couple possessions offensively where they didn't get shots because of turnovers. Obviously, we just had one there by Chris Warren. But Tennessee has the ability to do that to people. That's a trademark of Bruce Pearl's team.
Largest lead of the day. Bruce Pearl yelling no foul. White gets 2 back. And now the foul committed. J.P. Prince will go to the free throw line. Look at that. Ole Miss leading the SEC in fewest turnovers per contest. Just 12 a game. This game has been extended 5 extra minutes, but they're almost doubling what they normally average. 21 turnovers.
Well, and you got to give Tennessee credit for that. I think that Tennessee's length, you know, some teams have the ability just to, you know, to knock balls loose. They're always active. Hands are active. Again, their length, the guys they have on the floor, they create that. Then they trap sometimes. They press, pick you up full court, half court, deny inbounds play. So when you play Tennessee, you've got to be able to play without turning the ball over.
This is the big one. Warren throws it up. Tap will be good. Lead is 2. They just really need to inbound the basketball. They do, and the game is over. Tennessee survives. They've won 6 in a row. They are now 2-0 in conference play.
Tennessee made the plays, both ends of the floor. Offensively, knocking down threes. Defensively, getting turnovers. Bruce Pearl's got to be very pleased with this squad, how they continue to be resilient as they've had a few players out.
6 consecutive wins for the Tennessee Volunteers. They're now 14-2, 2-0 in conference. Ole Miss, they fall to 1-2 in conference. Our final score in overtime, Tennessee wins 71-69. For Mark Godfrey and our entire SEC Network crew, I'm Eric Collins. Now let's send it to Carter Blackburn in Auburn, Alabama for Kentucky and Auburn.